We look at you, are you okay? Can you speak English? Do you seem energetic? Do you fit? Do you have enough tattoos? Get a job.
Does that mean I'd get a job?
Oh, not sure about you.
Welcome to episode 1 of Spill the Juice. Today we're with Dan Clayton, restaurant consultant from Dubai, and Naim Maadad, the man behind Gates Hospitality and some of the most amazing venues in Dubai. Thanks for joining us, gents. We're here to talk about customer experience, and I think something that's changed dramatically over the last 12, 18 months. In your opinion, Naim, what does customer experience mean?
What does it mean? I know what it means. The question is, can we deliver up on the customer experience expectation, particularly over the last 15, 18 months? The events, the sequences that have taken place have really shaken everyone's comfort zone, expectation, anxiety levels have really escalated. And the customer experience now is about, am I safe? Am I in a good place? And am I mentally content? So customer expectation, if you asked me 18 months ago, was about people indulging, going out, seeing friends, and making sure that everybody sees every single investment that you have, that you're carrying with you, whether it's the car keys or whether it's a handbag, all of the above. Whereas today it's a lot more low-key. Today it's about enjoying an experience, and I think we are appreciating experiences a lot more. All of a sudden, I think we're appreciating the server who's coming to our table and going through the motion of service.
Yeah. And Dan, from your opinion, you've been a consultant now for many, many years. From your side, customer experience, what does it mean? You know, how are you engaging with some of your clients around how to create that customer experience in these sort of times?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The customer experience journey has changed. And I think it then means that the customer experience becomes more important than it ever was. It should have been the most important thing anyway. If it's not, it definitely has to be now, because people are potentially a little bit more reluctant to go out, a little bit more cautious about going out. And so you've got to really have that experience on point to make sure that you are giving the customers a reason, a feeling of comfort about going out. The good thing about experiences is that everyone has them, whether it's a great experience, whether it's a bad experience. We're all having an experience here, whether it's good or bad. I'll let you know afterwards. But we all have one, and we all reflect back on it. And I think moving forward into the months and year ahead, it has to be redefined and reprioritized by a lot of the restaurants out here.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And Dan, obviously prominent F&B consultant in the industry across the region. When you have a look at customer experience from the very, very beginning, from concept creation, from site identification, how much does customer experience play on your mind when you're developing that concept, when you're looking at the design, when you're looking at the layouts? How much is customer experience?
Look, I think it defines it. I think it's at the core of concept creation. Kind of 3 things I look at is the first one is do the simple things well when designing, so that you wouldn't guess a number of bars I go to where the AC is on the back of your neck, you know? Yeah. And then you just get, I mean, I don't know if you're struggling there, but that's a design element, you know? You can fix that from before you start construction, or your chairs are uncomfortable, or the lighting's bad. These are all simple things that affect the experience. So just get them right, you know? Design them correctly and get them right. The second thing is have fun. Not everything needs an ROI, right? So when you're creating an experience, make sure you're creating a bit of fun. The great example I use is there's a hotel in LA called Magic Castle. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's not a Four Seasons, it's not a spectacular hotel, but it consistently scores in the top 5 on TripAdvisor year after year. And what they've got on their swimming pool, they've got a phone mounted on the wall, and it's called the Popsicle Hotline. And you pick it up, and someone says, "Hello, Popsicle Hotline," and you can order a popsicle. And 5 minutes later, a silver tray comes out with a popsicle on it, and it's served to you for free. And this is what people talk about on TripAdvisor. This is what people talk about as that kind of wow factor. And I think just trying to find moments to have fun without worrying about the cost to the business, I think pays dividends overall. And then finally, I think it's called it's a bit academic, but it's called the peak end theory. When a customer looks back on an experience, they're actually quite forgiving when it comes to certain things, right? And psychologists, research has shown that customers remember the peak, whether it's a peak positive or a peak negative, but they remember the peak of their experience and they remember the end of their experience. So if in a restaurant, you get a visit from the chef to say happy birthday and a nice little anecdote and talk, that is going to be remembered over the fact that your starters were 5 minutes late.
How do you maintain, or how do you evolve and create that customer experience for the customer in summer periods? So I suppose obviously if you put up a tent, how do you maintain that you can control the same operational excellence that you do inside and within your restaurants?
For me, it's very easy. The space has already been defined, so you're not adding spaces. So when you've built that business, when you build that project, you've already allocated all of the spaces. So if anything, summer is actually diluting your space. So the space is already part of your plan. Obviously, previously what we used to do is vacation clearance, sending everybody on holidays. This year we said, you know what, that's not going to happen. This year we're already running a leaner business. So basically what we're saying is let's make sure we utilize the spaces as much as possible.
And I don't think we can talk about experience without talking about the team, the staff working in the restaurants, because they ultimately define the experience of what the customers are going to have. I hope there's less table gimmicks, table theatrics, and more genuine hospitality and more genuine connection between the staff and the customer. And I think that's a big part of how people experience restaurants and bricks and mortar.
Biggest challenge we have on this marketplace, and frankly it's not only here, globally now it's becoming an issue. The industry is very difficult. People they look at hospitality in general, restaurant, hotels, all of this, it's hard work, it's long hours. And principally when our colleagues are having a weekend out celebrating Christmas, birthday, the industry is working, so you keep missing out. So the new generation is looking at the industry saying too difficult, too hard. So we need to rejuvenate that whole aspect, saying let's make it attractive, let's pull people back in the kitchen. Kitchen is an art. I mean, if you cook, if you're a chef, amazing art.
And that's really the message we want to put out with this series. We are going into a time where it is becoming more challenging to attract people to the industry that we all love. In your opinion, what do you think we can be doing more to attract the youth into F&B? Because I think, with budgets being tighter, aggregators, rent prices, all of this pressure that we get from things that we can't really control, it means that it is going to become more difficult to attract the youth with higher salaries and all of the good stuff that people want. How do we reinstall that kind of love and passion that you would have had when you first entered into F&B?
This is coming from your playbook, but the question is, how do you turn what people see as a job here into a career? And that's I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. It's such a difficult one. But that's the biggest issue here is people are landing on these shores to send money home, right? They're not here. And maybe that's the fault of the operator for not putting in a succession plan or letting them know that there's a career. I look at all the big chefs of today, right? So the Izus, the Nick and Scott and Nick and Scott, and Reef and all that. When they eventually leave, who's taking their place?
Yeah.
They might have sous chefs in the wings, I don't know. But that's a real concern, is where is this pipeline of talent?
It's a tough industry. So attracting talent has never been easy. But the danger is, are we attracting talent to send money home and to make, it's a bit of a stint rather than a career. So we need to approach it in a different way, saying, let's have a look at the technical aspect. How do we educate them? Because again, we attract a lot of people who come out and when they set foot in a hotel or a restaurant, they've never been into one in their countries, with all due respect. They've never seen that setup and it's like, it's wow. That's already overwhelming. So that educational part. 2 is retaining, and 3 is what's next? What happens after 2 years? I can't be running food out of a kitchen. I can't be doing the pass for 2 years and because I'm excelling in my job, you don't move me because I'm doing such a good job. Rather than that, okay, move me, but develop me to do the next best thing.